Hello. Happy Thursday, everyone. EG here. Allison. Welcome, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me and see me. So let me go back and say hi to Jean-Marc. I think people were on here earlier, but then they left. Anyway, hi, Jean-Marc, Rainbow Fuchsia, Diana by the beach, Kai from Oslo, Leanne from Germany, Violets and Roses, Liddell, hi. Susan from Ireland, SJT from Arizona, Dennis, welcome. Lawrence, welcome from Minnesota. Yeah, it is. It's 7 p.m. French time, CET, Central European time. Hi, Pamela J. Yeah, I know. You must have been in here earlier, Pamela. James, welcome in with all your llamas. Oh, yeah, she's here. She's back. She has stories. She has stories, people. She'll get to that later. Let's just stick her here on the side so she can peek in. Anyway, hi, Teresa, Marie from Stockholm, Joan from Tennessee, Talk Later from New York, Kathy. Thank you for saying hi to Lucy. Lucy had an exciting time in the Pyrenees, let me tell you. She's having a much better trip than I am. Hi, Marva from Manchester. All right. Sean, welcome in. Rent Vale, Diane, Kathy from North Carolina, Diane from Seattle. Are you back in France, Jean-Marc? Brian? Yes, I did my own haircut. I know it doesn't probably look that good, but I did cut it evenly, I think, on both sides. But yeah, I got sick of it and I just had to get a haircut. And it just, every time I passed a salon, it's like they either have weird hours, I mean, really weird hours, not just like closed on Mondays. And I could just never find one that was like open when I like walked by. So I just got disgusted. I actually bought a pair of scissors at the Monoprix, hair cutting scissors, and I could have brought mine from home, and I didn't because I thought, oh, it'll be fine. No. So now at least I can just trim my own hair if I have to. But I think what I'll do is I will get a haircut. I'll probably get a trim when I go to the UK. It'll probably be a lot easier over there. But anyway, yeah, it's actually cheaper here to get your hair cut. I mean, definitely like cheaper even than my own little town in California. But yeah, I just got disgusted. So yeah, I did it myself, and because I've cut it this short before, and I can't do like a real short haircut myself because I just wouldn't know how to do layers and stuff. But this was fine. I just hacked it off, and I appreciate doing it. Anyway, I hope all of you are doing well. I hope it's a good week so far for you. And so let me say a few more highs to Coup du Génie from Rem, France. Lisa, SJT. Let's see who else I didn't see. Purple Violet. I don't know if Justin. I don't think I said hi to you before. Lawrence. Okay, and Walanda. No, I didn't do a great job, but whatever. It's kind of I cut it a couple of days ago, so it's also I've had a hat on, and so it's kind of limp hair. Anyway. Anyway, we just started a few minutes ago. Hi, Karen, Patty, Sherry, Repent and Believe, Babs, hello. Oh no, Connie, I can't get green tea. No, that's not true. The other day I went for brunch at a coffee place that has like food, and I actually had like the closest thing to a breakfast I would know in the US. It was like I think 2 pancakes with 2 eggs on top and some bacon which was delicious, by the way. It was €10 for that, so about $10. And then I had a hot green tea. I did get some hot green tea, but I have not found iced green tea anywhere. So, okay. Everybody's been, tells me about, okay, a lot of you are also cutting your own hair. Yeah, I would have preferred just having someone else do it, but I just, it's like one of those things. It's like I can't really make an appointment here because I don't feel well. First of all, I can't really call people. I don't have a phone that is on most of the time, so I can't really call someone, but I don't know. I just did it and now it's done. So it's one less thing I have to worry about. Okay. Yeah, also, yeah, Leanne, they don't put ice cubes in the tea. I don't understand that, but it's just another adjustment. Another adjustment. Anyway, I got lots of adjustments going on. Okay, so anyway, yeah, I'm so grateful for you guys, by the way. Thank you for showing up. If we have problems with the internet, if we have problems tonight, hopefully we won't. But if we do, I think I don't know. I'm contemplating changing the time of the live streams because here's the deal. Where I'm staying right now, for some reason, the internet, this is the time of the day it gets weird sometimes. Not every day, but it gets weird for like between like 5 and 8 p.m. or something. And so I'm thinking that, if this continues to be a problem at this time, I may have to go a little earlier, which would be earlier US time. So instead of 11, it'd be more like 9 in the morning, and that'd be noon East Coast time. So I'll let you know if obviously I'll put a community post in if I have to change it, but you know, I don't really, well, I can't do too late, Jean-Marc. I start fading fast after I do this live stream, especially like I can't function real well at night, like after 9 p.m. So I don't really want to do one that late, but I could do it a little earlier, like a couple hours earlier, and maybe the internet would be a little better. So anyway, I'm sorry. Anyway. Let's see. Yeah, I'm thinking that too, Diana. Is like maybe a lot of usage between 5 and 8 p.m. slows it down or something, and it gets a little weird, like it kind of cuts in and out. So I don't know. Okay, I'll let you know though. I'll post a community post if I decide I'm going to change it. Hopefully, like we had problems last week with it, hopefully it'll be better. Welcome in, Rachel, new subscriber. Thank you so much for subscribing, being part of this channel. Okay, Connie's good with earlier. Yeah, I figured like a couple hours earlier would probably be the best thing overall, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I'll keep it here if we get internet, but obviously when I go to the UK, I'll be an hour earlier anyway there. Actually, we have a time change in France next Sunday, this coming Sunday. So actually, I have to actually do it later here. It'll be 8 p.m. instead of 7 p.m. my time to make it the same time in the US. Because you guys had a time change in the US and now here they go through a time change. So I'll let you know. Anyway, let's hear from Miss Lucy. Let me explain what happened on her journey. So she was hiking the Pyrenees and she met some other subscribers. She met some other hikers. No other llamas. She didn't encounter another llama, but she ran into some people who got her all hyped up on walking the Camino. So she really wants to do that. And I said, Lucy, come on. So she tried to talk me into it. And I said, I would die on the Camino. Okay. I'm in no shape to walk the Camino. I mean, if I only had to walk 20 miles, maybe over 4 days, I could do that. But so anyway, I told her, I said, listen, We'll see what happens later in the summer or something. Maybe you can go off for a sabbatical and hike the Camino by yourself. Anyway, she did get to Lourdes, to the, Lourdes, the famous healing place. So she's like a totally renewed llama right now. Anyway. Doesn't she sound like she has a more interesting life than I do? I think so. That's why she's my alter ego. Yeah. So, Lucy will be going to the UK, but I'm just saying she may end up walking the Camino at some point. Who knows? So, anyway, she's saying hi. Hola. Bonjour. She is picking up. Actually, she spoke more Spanish on her trip because she was in the Pyrenees and she ran into a lot more Spanish speakers. Hi, Inner You. Welcome, my wonderful moderator. Yeah, there are long lines at Lourdes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I would love to go to Lourdes, but I already looked at the travel arrangements to be able to go there. And from here, and believe it or it's like crazy. I have to go like out roundabout way over there. And then of course it's not cheap to stay over there. So it's just not happening. If there's so many places, guys, I would love to see in France, but you really kind of need a car because it's just, I don't know why I thought it would be easier to just get around with the train, but in a weird way, it's not. It's so anyway, Lucy should have. Well, she wants her own Instagram, Susan. She wants an Instagram. Is what she wants. She doesn't really want a YouTube channel. She would love to have an Instagram. All the places Lucy could go. Yeah. So, hi, Wadja from Indonesia. Welcome. Oh, Jean-Marc, I'd like to go to pretty much every major city and then a lot of the little places too, and like Lourdes. I'd like to go to Andorra, the country, but again, there was no train that goes there from here, so I can't really. You have to go to get to Andorra from here without a car. You basically have to take either the bus or the train into Spain and get there from there. So it's kind of crazy. Docs and Gal, I do drive and I have an international driver's license, but to rent a car in this area, I know Jean-Marc, you did tell me there's a cheaper way, but I have not looked into that. But most of the regular car rental is just so expensive here. So I'm saving my car rental for Germany because I'm going to rent a car for a week there. And for a whole week, it's only like $450. And that's unlimited kilometers. So that's a really good deal. I know, but I don't really want to fly a lot is the problem. I just, me, I'm not a flyer. So, I'm trying to minimize. I'm probably going to have to take one flight when I go to possibly Albania. So yeah, I'm just trying to, I know you said that. I just can't believe I'm not saying you're not telling me the truth, Jean-Marc. I find that unbelievable that you can rent from there. Maybe you have to be like, I don't know if they'd rent to a foreigner though. Like, I don't know. I might check into it. But I was talking, let me segue into, I did meet up with Jeff, the expat. A bunch of you know of his channel. He just started a channel and he's already monetized. So really, really good luck for him. And like, great situation he's in, but he's a wonderful guy. We sat and, neither of us drink coffee. So we just had other drinks, but we chatted for a couple hours and he really was a lot of help with the bus thing for me. And he explained a lot about like medical stuff. And even like if I ever get a residency visa, he explained how to do how to like get an apartment. He has a contact for that, who's an agent, a French woman that's an agent here. So he's really, really great. And we're going to meet up again at least one more time before I go from this area. But yeah, he's a really nice guy. Yeah, I could not have been in a more fun to just chat with him. And plus, I have to share with you guys, you know, for a month, I've had no one to talk to. I mean, I'm on here talking, but you guys are just like you're chatting back, but I'm not hearing your voice. Okay. And so the thing is, um, he, his name, Donna, his channel is Jeff the Expat. So, if you guys haven't already discovered him, please go on over there. Anyway, so the thing is that it was just wonderful to sit. Like, no, we met at Starbucks because it was kind of just the easiest place for us to connect. Anyway, we chatted in English for 2 hours, and it was just like I was so starved for that. I was so starved for being able to speak to somebody in English, because when I go out and I go places, it's mostly in French. And it's not like I'm having conversations. I'm just doing little stuff. And the only other people I'm talking to are a couple of my friends that I talk to once a week. That's it. So as much as I'm a introvert and a kind of a loner, and I don't really I don't have to talk to someone all the time, I really was getting a little starved for that after a month. So hopefully on this next part of the journey, I will be able to speak more with people in English, because I'm never gonna, unless I live here in France, I'm not going to get fluent. And to really be able to have a conversation, you really need to be fluent. So anyway, it's really, it was really nice though to speak to somebody, and he's a really great guy. And we shared a lot of the same kind of perspectives on things, and it was just really nice. And you know, yeah. So yeah, I know we might do. I don't know if we're going to do an actual collab. I didn't want to talk about that when I just met with him this week, and he didn't mention it either. But we might do that maybe the next time we get together. I don't know. Well, I'll ask him ahead of time though, because I don't want to, you know. But we could maybe go and somewhere, and then kind of not really interview each other, but kind of do a like both have something for our channels or something. So. There probably are tour buses. I don't know if there are here, Sherry. I mean, if you go to like some other cities, I think in France there probably are, and I would expect. Oh yeah, definitely. I'm going to the beach, Rainbow Fuchsia, because Jeff gave me the down low on the bus I need to take there, which is a different bus, which I knew it was, and I have the schedule. And we went over it, and he told me exactly where to pick it up and what happens and where to catch it back to here. So I should be good. I've just been waiting for the weather to be good, because it's been unseasonably cooler and cloudier and a lot of drizzle and rain here lately. And I think next week looks good. So I'm planning to do that next Tuesday. So I'll be able to tell you about it on Thursday, how that goes at the beach. And I will definitely film it. Well, it's not going to be warm enough, but at least it's going to be not raining and cloudy. I just would like to have some sun, just to, have warmth of the sun on you when you're walking along the sand. So, yeah. It's 80 there, Ruby, huh? Yeah, it's kind of like it. I think I told you this last week. Everyone, like my host, her boyfriend was telling me this was so unusual, the weather for this time of year here, that there's so much more rain and clouds than there normally is. So I really am catching it at a strange year. So, and that's okay. I actually don't mind that it's cooler. I just wish there wasn't as much rain and drizzle at times. Jean-Marc, you're going back to school in the evening in France. They go back to school at night? Trying to understand that, Jean-Marc. Hi, Jennifer from Oklahoma. Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm here for another 3 weeks in, where I'm at in Perpignan, and then I go to Dijon. So, I know Dijon will be a little bit cooler anyway, which is good because 'cause I'm getting there for, like, mid-April to mid-May. So, I think that'll be good time of the year over there. They might still have some rain and stuff, but, that's not by the Mediterranean, so I don't need it to be, as sunny. So, oh, did Bob you mean Jeff, Sherry? Well, anyway, no, I did boil some eggs finally on this frickin' induction stove. Uh, I was talking to Jeff about the problem, and they have one, where he has a roommate and stuff, but he was saying they have the same kind of induction thing, and he said he had a problem with that too. So he gave me a couple of suggestions, kind of worked. Um, I did get it to work enough to boil some eggs yesterday, so I was very happy about that. And yeah, so no, Leanne, I actually have not. In Perpignan, there's not a lot of what I would consider the typical French food. It's definitely got a southern flavor to it, literally. Like there's a lot of Spanish influence on the food here. There's a lot of international food too. I've seen more places that serve hamburgers, even though I'm not a big hamburger person and I have not had a hamburger here. But there's more places that serve hamburgers. Um, so no, I have not found what I would really like to have, which is a really good like French dish of some kind, like coq au vin or something like that. But no, I have not found that yet. But I'm only eating out for lunch and I'm not going every day. I had a viewer that made a comment and I had to get kind of snarky with them. It wasn't like a comment I would block and delete or anything. I just thought the person was being kind of judgmental. And so they said something like, well, how can you afford to eat out every day? And like, well, I'm not eating out every day. I couldn't afford that. That's for sure. Plus, I'm only eating out like for one meal on that day where I go out and I'll have like lunch, which is, I'm always a big lunch person anyway. I don't eat dinner usually. So, excuse me. And so I'm only eating out like 3 times a week at places. So it's not a lot. And but now today, oh sorry, I got a tickle. Anyway, today I went by a new coffee shop because I'm trying to still find a coffee shop that this place is called Co-working Coffee. And I noticed it got really busy around noon. I got there about 11:30 and it was just like perfect. So I think unless you're there for the lunch crowd, it's a nice place to hang out. They have good tables and seats and you can probably chat with somebody there. I do like that place and it was reasonable. I did get a little like breakfast sandwich there, I guess, this morning, and it was only €6 and then I just got some water. But yeah, people, but it got really busy. I was sitting in there past noon and it got really, really busy. Hi, Crescenda, welcome in. Hi, is that Maureen in there too? Thank you, Maureen, for being here. I know, but it kind of, I kind of got snarky with this person and responded and just said, you know what? I'm not eating out every day, and I don't even have a frickin' stove that works where I live, so it's like, what do you expect me to do? Like, just eat cold sandwiches every day, which I do, like, 3 days, 4 days a week, so, like, tomorrow, I'm not going out for lunch, and maybe Saturday I will, I don't know yet. Usually, it's an every other day kinda thing, so, anyway, I know. Don't you love how Lucy's just kinda poking in there? She wasn't even tired after her big Pyrenees adventure. I think because she went to Lourdes and got, cured of something. She's a young llama. She doesn't even have like physical problems. Hi, Doc. Welcome in. Well, I don't know if we'll do a joint video, but we'll find a way to maybe kind of boost each other in a, and appear together in a video of some kind. But he really is a good source for if you really are moving to, especially to this area. I mean, he's not lived in other parts of France, but does know quite a bit about this area. I mean, he's been here about 10 months now, and he had to go, he had to jump through all the hoops to do that. So yes, Lisa and Lucy is a natural blonde. Well, if I were eating with someone, Beth, I would probably be doing that for two. I've always been like that. I think somehow I got influenced by my young years in Germany, and my mom would take me out with her and we would go eat for lunch and stuff. I like long lunches. I think that's so civilized. So I always hate it when I'm out with a friend in the US and like they eat fast and then they just want to go. And I'm like, well, can't we just sit and chat and, have a tea or a coffee or something like that? Anyway, I like a long lunch. But going by myself, I don't sit as long in places because I don't really have anybody to interact with. So anyway. Yeah, I know. And I've been to these restaurants for lunch where people are sitting around for, I mean, I'm usually there a good hour and they show no signs of leaving. So they will sit at a restaurant for 2 hours easy. So, and that's great. I love that. That's one of the things about the culture I really like. Um, Beth, it's interesting that you bring up serving sizes. I have to say, I am a little surprised about this. I've not shared this on a video, but I am surprised about this. At most places that I've gone to eat, whether it's getting I've had Caesar salad because I love there's this one place in town. I love their Caesar salad, the Café de la Poste. It's just, they have a great Caesar salad with chicken in it, and it's just delicious. Anyway, you know what I've been surprised at? I'm not a huge eater. Like at one, like I don't eat a lot at one time, and I like the smaller serving sizes that most European countries do. They're serving bigger plates of food here for some reason. I don't get it. Even the salad is bigger than I expected it to be, and I think everything I've pretty much had so far is actually bigger. So they're serving bigger plates of food. Because when I was in France 20 something years ago, I remember getting the smaller plate of food. And I thought, oh, this is wonderful because it's not a ton. But I haven't been able to finish any of my food here. I have not been able to finish my food. It's just too much. This one place I went, this Cafe Chez Sebastien, which has I did a picture of it on the church video that just came out. Their chicken is to die for. This like chicken cutlet thing with the seasoning. It is freaking delicious. And the amount of chicken is okay, but they had a huge pile of French fries. I mean, huge pile that I could only eat like a third of. So I don't understand why the servings are so much bigger. Because if anybody has an explanation for that, or just, I don't understand it. SJT, I do not hear a lot of French music in places. I'm hearing mostly American music. I was at this other coffee shop the other day. I told you I'm exploring the coffee places now. I'm on a mission. Not that I'm a coffee drinker, but I just am looking for the good ambiance. Anyway, I went to Salty Coffee, which is where I got like the closest thing to an American breakfast the other day. And it was kind of brunch for me, but it was like the pancakes and the eggs and the bacon. And I was like, oh God, because I haven't had that in a month. So, but I have to say, I'm in there and all they were playing was rap music. like American rap music. And most other places I've gone today, I was at the co-working coffee, American music. I went in a grocery store today to get garbage bags because I need garbage bags from where I'm staying. I apparently my host only provided 2 and then said that was it. So and that's fine because they're cheap here. But anyway, I went in to get garbage bags and I'm listening to American music in there. So it's very surreal because I feel like, where am I? I don't know where I am. Anyway, it is. Well, I understand, I have to say this. It is true. I'm just saying this as someone who's obviously an American, but I believe it is true. The 2 greatest countries for music in the world are Great Britain, UK, and America and the US. I mean, they just are. And that the music from both those countries are played pretty much everywhere, probably. But we really do have a great history of music. I will say that. That's one thing we, excel in, I guess. Yeah, the most entertained, less informed, JM. Yeah, well, I hear you on that. I know, Nordic Light. I need some more good French cuisine. I hear Dijon probably will have more of what I consider kind of more traditional French cuisine. So I will look forward to that. Again, though, I'll only be able to go out for lunch like 3 times a week, but I'm sure I will get enough of that. Doc, you're in America for the moment? Oh, okay. In the background of your lives. Edith Piaf. Yeah. Well, I'm just reading your post. Sorry. Oh, you know what I want to do though? Hang on. I'm trying to find my Okay. I wanted to share, one thing I kind of got away from the traditional things I was doing before, but I did want to share a couple of comments of the week with you guys because I don't know if it was the last video that came out just yesterday. It was the one before that. I got a couple of really good comments and I did want to share those. And this was in relation to, that I hit the wall. Remember that video I did about she's eyeballing everybody. Anyway, this was in regards to hitting the wall. And I just really loved a couple of the comments. One is from Alf Pup, which I don't think they're in the chat. But anyway, Alf Pup said, and this is about adjusting to being, in a new country. It says, just living in a country where there is a different language is exhausting mentally. But on top of that, having to figure out every last thing. I remember doing this when I was 17 and sitting down at a dinner party in Germany. I remember clearly holding back the tears just out of mental exhaustion. That was so well said, because that really is, unless you guys have experienced that before, that is what it is. When I go out for the day for several hours, by the time, if I'm having to go to like stores, or like today I went to a pharmacy to get a couple of over-the-counter things, and I was so grateful that in that particular pharmacy, the pharmacist guy who helped me spoke English. I didn't ask him to speak English. He just kind of heard me and thought, I'll give her a break. So it really, really helped. But when you're out and you're having to speak another language, it is mentally exhausting. And then by the time you come back home, you're just like, oh, I just can't, I can't deal with it. So anyway, yeah, that's that. I love that comment from Alf Pup, because that's something no one else really commented on. And it's really, really true. So another comment, this is from Lifster, who again, I don't remember them commenting before, but again, they're talking about this whole idea of you get exhausted adjusting to like travel or a new place. They said, "Who boy, can I ever relate to this? My first move to Europe in 1992 was to Budapest, and I spent a year preparing with all the enthusiasm in the world. And then came the day about 2 months later that I woke up from a dream that I was on a child's sled asking at every snowy intersection, 'Do you know how I can get home?' I thought, why the hell did this seem like a good idea coming to Eastern Europe? I had a nice life in California on the beach. But it got better, and it turned out that I was where I was supposed to be. I'm now happily at home in a small city in France, so nothing we experience is ever wasted. Bon courage." So thank you, Lifster. That was a great comment. It was really a great comment because you always reach that. I have not I've not been homesick. I've not thought to myself, "Oh, I want to be back in the town I was in." That I have not felt at all. But wanting to just have the familiar around me or to have people around me that I can speak to, that has been an issue. That has really been an issue. And so that's just something I have to adjust to. And I will get a little break from that when I go to the UK because at least I'll be able to converse with people fluently. And that'll be a nice little interlude. But then I'm going to plunge back into other countries. And of course, I'll probably be back here in France too in the fall. And so, and then I'm going to see about, I got to figure out where I'm going to apply. I don't know if it's going to be France again or whatever about applying for residency. Oh, one thing I did want to share with you guys is that, I actually had to rethink this. In fact, I was talking to Jeff about it because, I've had a bunch of people ask me, like, why aren't you applying for Italian citizenship if your grandparents came from Italy? Both my grandparents did on my father's side. And I knew I didn't qualify for them because, again, the rules were if they couldn't have renounced their Italian citizenship before my dad was born, or else then I didn't qualify. But Italy also takes into account your great grandparents. And my great grandparents never left Italy and they never renounced their citizenship, which means that technically I should be able to apply through them. Now, the problem with this is I probably cannot afford to do this unless my channel gets to like a lot bigger, but I probably cannot afford to do this. But it also takes years. I've heard from a lot of people that the whole Italian citizenship journey for even by direct descent can take several years. And I'm not getting any younger. And that's not saying I wouldn't try it because I think what happens is I've been trying to read up on this the last few days. I think when you apply for it, they also allow you to like stay in, if you're already like apply from within the country, they allow you to have residency while you're going through this process. Now, I'm not sure about that. So I have to do some more research. But yeah, apparently I would qualify for the residency for great grandparents because both sets of great grandparents four sets actually of great grandparents were all in Italy. They never came to the U.S. So yeah, so I will do some more. Yeah, Beth, I think that's on the optimistic side, 2 to 3 years. I've heard more like double that. But anyway, which reminds me, I have to tell you a funny thing, is that some viewer commented on my channel, and I didn't delete or block them because, again, I only delete or block people if it's like a personal, like they're slamming me personally, like being just rude and, they're just, what I'm talking about. You've seen it. But the thing is, sometimes I get a comment and I just go, And so sometimes I do kind of answer and just kind of say whatever comes to mind. So this person, their implication was that they said, "Well, I don't understand why you're over there because you're just going to get older and you're just going to have problems, and how do you think that's going to work out?" And like they were just being a real downer. Thank you, Susan. But you know what I said back? They said something like, "Well, what do you think's going to happen to you in like 10 years and like whatever?" And I just answered back and I said, "Well, on the bright side, I might be dead in 10 years." I, I didn't hear back from them on that. Because it's true. If you cannot, when you get older, especially, and I know not all of you are as old as I am, but the thing is, when you get older, you cannot go, "Well, what's going to happen to me in 10 years? Or what's going to be happen to me in 5 years even?" Well, hell, you're on freaking borrowed time as it is. We all are that are over a certain age. I mean, you have no freaking idea. And as somebody just pointed out, we never have any idea, actually. Somebody at 30 could die before somebody at 80. So the thing is, you just have to live your life the way you want to live your life. And then don't worry about way down the road, because way down the road, I'm going to be dead. That's the point. We're just, I don't know when, but I know it's down the road. Yeah, Sandra. Yeah, I know there is. I used to be a lot more interested in Bulgaria until they joined the EU and became part of the Schengen zone, because that was going to be one of my places to go in the non-Schengen area. But yeah, I don't think so. I'm probably more likely to go to Albania because again, it's non-Schengen. So thank you, JM, for reminding people. Yes, I do have coverage for the net till February, the end of February, so or beginning of February. So if I'm over here, at least if there's something serious, I have coverage, and for the other stuff. And when I met with Jeff, he was reiterating that. He was saying, he was telling me what the costs were for, because he had to pay for medical. He just got on the French, the Carte Vitale, which is the French, system. And he basically told me how much visits were, and it's so affordable here. It really is. So I'm not that concerned at this point. Of course, something could happen and I would be, but again, cannot worry. That's something I'm good at, is not worrying about that. What is the point? I remember back when I was teaching community college, and for a period of 10 years, I had no health insurance because I didn't have any benefits at the school where I taught. I was an adjunct faculty, which meant I had no benefits. And I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford insurance. I mean, even at that age, in like around 50, I think I lost my insurance at like 50, 51, something like that. For 10 years, I had no insurance. And I had a bunch of people say to me, "Oh my gosh, what are you going to do?" And of course, that's in the US, which is a problem. But it was like, "What are you going to do?" And I said, "Well, I got to hope that I either stay healthy, or that if I do get sick, that I just die from it, because what else am I supposed to do?" So I have a weird sense of humor about that. Like, you just can't. And you know what? I made it the 10 years. So, yes, Mary, did you just come in, Mary? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I was just talking about that. If I can get citizenship in Italy, I might actually give it a go, because I realized as I did more research that I might qualify through my great grandparents. But I wouldn't get that for years. It takes several years to get your Italian citizenship. So, and I don't know if I'm able to do it anyway, just because you pretty much have to have help from an agency or an attorney's office to do it. It's really hard to get in Italy on your own. It really is. I mean, unless you literally, like your dad came from Italy and never gave up his citizenship. I mean, that's a pretty straightforward case, but yeah, it's impossible to, do that quickly if they have to go through all the records. Everything has to get translated if it's not already, and, apostilled and all that stuff. So, yeah. No, I do not speak Italian at all. I used to listen to my grandparents speak Italian when I was a kid, because the only time they would speak Italian is when they were fighting, because they didn't want, the kids to know, like me, to know what they were saying to each other. So I grew up hearing Italian, but no, I don't speak Italian. My grandfather didn't speak English tremendously well. I mean, I technically, I guess, was fluent because he could have a conversation in English, but he wasn't as good at English as my grandmother. My grandmother was fluent. She always had an Italian accent, though. Never got rid of her accent at all. So, oh, hi, Bronwyn. Welcome in. How is Australia? You guys should be getting cooler now, hopefully. Yes, I don't know. I'll find out when I go to Sicily. I don't know how many Italians speak English. I guess I'll find out. I know at one time you didn't always find a lot of Italians that did, but I think the younger generations have been, sorry, I have an itch, speaking English more. So, yeah, they're both Romance, French and Italian. Italian's more similar to Spanish, so if I knew Spanish, it would be a lot easier. But yeah, I would learn Italian. I absolutely. If I have to go live in Italy for a while and wait for citizenship, I'd definitely learn Italian. So I'd take classes or whatever. So, no, you do not, Maria, lose your citizen. I mean, you don't lose it, but considering the state of Social Security right now, I don't know that we may have it for much longer anyway. Just saying. So a little panicked about that. We don't have to get in a discussion about it, but I'm just saying, a little panicked about it. Yes, Duolingo. I've still been doing my French ones on on Duolingo. Oh, thank you, Inner You. It's so nice to have you. You sent me a wonderful comment this week, Inner You, by the way. I did thank you for it, but you did send me a really lovely comment. So I just wanted to say I appreciated that. Yeah, the thing is with Duolingo, I should probably be doing like twice the lessons that I do every day, and I just don't. I mean, I do it. I've had 230 days in a row of nonstop Duolingo lessons. But I just can't do like a lot at one time. So Liz, Barcelona, everyone speaks English. That's wonderful. I think I told you guys I can't go to Barcelona this time around. I mean, this right now. If I come back in the fall and I go to Spain, because I'd still like to go to Portugal too, but everything just depends on the YouTube channel. This month was a decent month for YouTube for me, but we'll just have to see what happens. Everything, as like I just said, is uncertain with income stuff. So I know, Aunt Jan, I hear you on that. I'm a little freaked out, to be honest with you. I'm a lot freaked out, but I'm not going to do a whole dedicated video about it or go into it much. But it obviously is affecting how I look at this journey I'm on. So, yeah. Bronwyn says it is getting cooler. Yeah, I bet this is a nice time of the year in Australia. You all speak English in your region of France, you mean? Thank you, Maureen, for reminding people. I got to have some more water. Any other questions you guys have? Look, we've been going for 48 minutes. Knock on wood. Hopefully things are okay. Oh, I did want to share another channel with you, not because it's not related to living in France, but I just have to share this. That do any of you watch the channel Snow and Kurt? It's an older couple that travel in their van. They went through all of South America. They went through Europe. I've watched them on and off for I don't know, maybe a couple of years, but I don't watch them like constantly. But I just caught a recent video. They've been in West Africa, and that caught my attention because, of course, I was in the Peace Corps in West Africa, and I watched their video about how their van broke down, and they're in this little remote village in the Gambia, and I was like, I have some PTSD from my Peace Corps days. And so, oh, Carolina, you do love Snow and Kurt. Yeah. If any of you like van life videos and whatever, they're a really interesting couple. They have such a great attitude. And hi, Bobby, welcome in. I know. And I was having PTSD I watched a couple of their videos this afternoon where they were trapped in this little town in rural Gambia while their van was broken down. And the guy had to go to another country to get the part. And it was like, and it's like 100 and something degrees there. I was having flashbacks because I remember what that was like to be in Africa, no air conditioning, and you're trying to survive when it's like the real hot season. And yeah, anyway, I'll have to watch. Yeah, I'll have to watch Beth more of their Europe videos because I had watched all their South American ones when they were in South America, and then I kind of wasn't watching, and I wasn't. You know how you're subscribed to somebody, but YouTube doesn't show you their videos. Yeah, I'm sure that's happened to you too. And so I got out of the habit of watching them. So now I'm going to have to go back and watch some of their videos. But boy, they've really been through it. She's had health problems, and I mean, she's just fought through it. It's just wonderful. And they just never gotten over their, thirst for adventure. And I think it's great. Karen, stay tuned for my video on Sunday. I will address that. I have a video coming. Let me give you a preview of my upcoming videos. My next two videos, the next one's going to deal about safety and just, does it feel safe here? Because I had to share a couple of things that happened that I have not shared before that I actually probably wasn't going to share. And then that whole thing about the bus happened, and I found out about those bus attacks, and it kind of prompted me to do this other video about, and it's not negative. I'm not bashing it. I'm not saying it's not safe. I'm just saying there's some things that happened that just made me more aware and more conscious of that. So yeah. But anyway, that's coming up Sunday. And then next Wednesday's video will be on my budgeting. Like, how am I affording this at all? Which is depressing. But anyway. Yes, Nordic. I actually have thought about Portugal. I obviously want to go there first. But the thing is, yeah, they don't require a lot of monthly income, which is fine. But the problem is I think you have to have $9,000 in the bank. It's about 9,000 something odd dollars in the bank. You can't just, their requirement for the monthly income is low, but they actually want you to have savings basically of some kind. So, and I don't have that yet. So if I ever get that much, then that's always an option. No, it's the angle of my camera, Anne Maria. It's because I have to, yeah, see, that's more than normal. This thing, my computer has to sit on top of my suitcase, which isn't totally level. It's a soft side, my carry-on bag. And so, it's, yeah. Yeah, she is listening intently. Well, she's still recovering from her journey. She had an intense journey. I mean, a hike in the Pyrenees is not easy, not at all, but I'm glad she's back. And like I said, she went to Lourdes, and I thought, oh, I'm so jealous. I wish I had gone to Lourdes. Okay. Any other questions you guys have? Yeah, like I said, that's my preview of my next couple of videos will be on the safety and on the budgeting. And then I'm already filming. Like I filmed stuff today, just like what I'm doing and stuff. That'll come out, in the next week or two. So I'm trying to get 2 to 3 weeks ahead though on my videos because just in case I have a week where either I'm not feeling well or I just don't want to do any work for a week, then I'd like to have that flexibility. Oh, sorry, Pamela. Am I glad I went? Oh, you mean, are you glad, anonymous friend, that I came here? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I have so many moments of gratitude every day. I tell you guys how important gratitude is. And today, just being out, it was, it's not, the sun was kind of out today. So it was nice. It wasn't super warm, but it wasn't cold. And I just really, there's so many places to go sit on a bench and sit outside and at the park or over by the canal. And I just, I'm just so grateful I'm here. I really am. No, I have a tiny little bathroom, Beth, no bidet. I have a washing machine, which takes 5 million hours to do a cycle. Uh, no, it's separate, Diana. My Airbnb is like a little studio apartment, and it's totally separate. My host doesn't live in this building or anything, and doesn't bug me, which is great, just because it's nice to have your privacy. But yeah, but the lawn, the yeah, I'm grateful to have a washing machine, but it takes a long time. I just did a load before 5 million hours before this live stream. And now after the live stream, I will hang up the clothes on my drying rack and they will take 2 days to dry. So I've gotten into a routine now where I do a load of clothes every 3 days or so because the washer doesn't hold a lot at one time. So yes, Nordic Light is still going to be Thursday evenings my time, and for now, and I don't expect the day to change. The time could change a little, but we'll see. I think I'll always let you know ahead of time. I have to dry it now for 5 days, Jean-Marc. No, it gets dry in about 2 days. But it could dry faster if I could put it outside, but with the weather isn't great for that. So, for now I'm just drying it inside. Yeah, well, Maureen, that's a good idea, but this is a weird washer that I just use the same cycle every time because they only showed me the real basics on it. And I wouldn't even know how to just do a spin cycle on it, to be honest with you. So, um, the name of the RV show, James, did you mean the one with the people in the van in Africa? It's called Kurt, or Snow and Kurt, SNOW and Kurt, CURT. Yeah, Lucy. Oh, Lucy ate well on her trip. Let me tell you, because she's so adorable that people just gave her food. Yeah, she's like, she's leading the easy llama life is what she's doing. She really is. Um, it's okay, Jean-Marc. I'm okay. I've only got 3 more weeks here. Actually, the next place I'm staying at doesn't have a washer. So I'm going to actually have to go to a laundromat, which is fine because at least I can do that like maybe every 5 days. And at least I'll get my clothes dry, which will be nice. So, no, Lisa, thanks for asking about the guitar. No, I've missed music. I really have. I actually sing to myself a lot when I'm out walking and stuff, just under, not loud, but just, as I'm kind of walking along the street, the empty streets sometimes. But no, I missed playing the guitar, but I just no, I just didn't feel like it was worth trying to find one and rent one and whatever. I didn't know, honestly, I don't really want to disturb neighbors. I don't want to get that kind of situation going where people complain about the guitar. Um, Even though I wouldn't be playing it very loud, but so no, not yet. Maybe I'll feel differently when I get to Dijon, because I'm there a month. So maybe I'll want to rent something there. I'm just leaving it, to the whenever. We'll see. Yes, the UK also their clocks go forward. Okay. Well, I can't film in the coffee shops because I don't want to get people in there. I mean, I'll film like what I get, like if I get, hot cocoa or tea or something like that. But I like today I filmed showing you what I ate for my like weird little breakfast at this one place today, but I can't film around the shop because there's no way I'm going to do that and get people in my shop. I'm very, very, very conscious of that and very respecting people's privacy. That's why some viewers comment, they go, well, it doesn't like anybody lives there in your town because I'm so careful not to get people. I mean, once in a while I might film somebody if it's from the back or something, you can't see their face or something like that. But I'm really careful. Well, you can, but Jean-Marc, I've heard even before I got here that you have to be really careful. People are a lot touchier here about being filmed without their permission, and so than they are in the US, for instance. Inner you asked a good question about, yes, I am. I am thinking about going to mass maybe this Sunday. So if I do, because I really love that cathedral, and I would like to go to a mass. The weird thing is they only have a Gregorian mass at 9:30. Then they have a high mass at 11. And then they have like a regular mass at like, I don't know if it's 6 or 6:30 at night. Well, I'm not going to the night one because that's going to be after dark by the time I get out of there. And so I might go to the high mass and just not stay the whole time because I know how long a high mass is, and I'm not staying that whole time. So my grandmother used to take me to high masses in near where she lived in Florida, and I was a kid, and I thought I was going to die. So I can't do 2 hours of mass, so an hour. I can do an hour. I know, Christina. I know what's not. Oh, I didn't know. See, before I came, I didn't even think to look that up, but I had no idea they weren't into iced tea. No idea. And I really miss it. And not only that, you can buy like the bottles of tea, like Lipton, but they're all peach tea. In this city, people are obsessed with peach iced tea bottles. And I don't like peach tea. So I can't do it. Can't do it. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet and get over the whole iced tea thing, or if I ever have my own place, like my own apartment or whatever, and, I could always make my own iced tea and get ice and stuff, make ice and have it, but, yeah, it's not happening here. Thank you, Diane. Yeah, I'm trying to be considerate of others. Like if I do go to mass, what I would do, because I'd like you guys to hear it, like hear that organ in there. What I would do is like turn it on, but just be holding it in my lap and just, so I'm not like filming anybody just to get the sound. So I might do that, but I certainly would not film otherwise in the church either, like while there's mass going on. Not going to be doing that. So anyway, okay. Any other questions? No, Una, eggs are not expensive here. Very cheap. I bought half dozen eggs for €1.60. So pretty cheap. Yeah, I wanna do the high mass, Mary, because I need the music. That's what I'm really yeah, yeah, and that's what you're saying exactly what I'm gonna do. Sit in the back, slink out. Get They do have Easter candy here, Jean-Marc. They do. They have some Easter candy out. That's interesting. I was like, "Wow." But no, I have not seen any, like, Easter eggs. Oh, I don't have it with me. Hang on. I put it away, but I had to go to the store today to get some, garbage bags, and they had M&Ms, like several flavors of M&Ms, and M's, and I got a package of M&Ms. And I mean, these are like it's like they call it a large package. It would probably be medium in the US, but anyway, so I bought those and I did eat some, and the colors are weird. Like, and these are regular chocolate, the basic original M&Ms, okay? So, they have the chocolate looking one, the brown one, the dark brown one, and then they have like blue and green. Now, those 3 all look the same as it would in the US. But then they have a red one, a yellow one, and an orange one, and the colors are all slightly different than because I know my M&M colors. And it's really weird, the color, like, the yellow has green in it, it's kind of a yellowish green, and then the orange one isn't like a vibrant orange, it's kind of like a muted orange kind of color, and then the red one looks like it's almost orange. And I know they don't have the same dyes, that's why. I understand why the colors are different, but yeah, it's interesting. And the flavor, it tastes a little different. Yeah. Not tremendously different, but a little bit. But I don't eat M&Ms a lot anyway, but I just had to get some today just to see what the difference would be. So, yeah, they don't have the red dye number 2, the deadly red dye number 2. They don't have that. That's right. Yeah. I know. It's amazing any of us in the US are still alive because we got so much crap in the food. Um, yeah, I know, it is interesting, but I was, I was excited to see the color difference, it was kind of interesting, yeah, it's a miracle. We are well preserved indeed. Well, our generation, if you're older, like I am, we did grow up. We didn't all have crappy food the whole time we were growing up. But by the time the 70s rolled around, I think that's when the food really started getting some stuff in it. And so I was already almost an adult or an adult at that point. But yeah, I just worry about, it's not a surprise to me that, people have more weird, like different health problems even than they used to. And like, I was having a problem with the gluten in the US because of the junk in the wheat. And now I come over here, my intestines, I'm not having any problem. I can eat bread every day and it's not causing a problem. So anyway. Uh, oh, that's a good question. Let's see who asked that. Meadows 37 asked you. I have been observing that because I'm really interested to see if people are smoking less here than they used to. Now, I only have to compare it with when I was in France 20 something years ago. And I do remember seeing a lot of people at cafes, smoking cigarettes and you'd be people smoking when they walk down the street and stuff like that. I don't remember back then if they could smoke in restaurants or not. I don't know if that had already been prohibited. Now you cannot smoke in a restaurant. So they're not smoking in the restaurant, but if they sit outside in the outside portion, they can. Well, I actually paid attention like today, and I only saw of all the people I saw out in walking along, sitting outside, whatever, I only saw probably 8 people smoking a cigarette out of like dozens of people I saw. So, and I have seen people vaping. I have seen that. And I do think it's more popular. Yes, Jean-Marc. I have seen a number of people vaping, but actual cigarettes, I'm not seeing a ton of that like I used to that the last time I was in France. So I think it has changed. And what's really great is you guys know that when I was living in California, I had a problem with the neighbor who kept smoking in her apartment, even though she was prohibited from doing that by the lease. And it drove me nuts because I just get that smell in my apartment all frickin' time. Well, here, I haven't had that problem at all. I'm living in a apartment building. I don't smell any smoke. I don't smell people smoking. So it's wonderful. Yeah. So yeah, I hope that's the way it is everywhere I'm going. So okay. Any last minute, let's go maybe another 5 minutes or so. Any last minute questions? Well, there is Saturday. They have, I don't know it'll be this Saturday, but last Saturday they had a antique market in that park I go to, but I only caught the tail end of it. So I just saw a few vendors, but I don't know if that's every Saturday or just 1 or 2 Saturdays a month. So I'm going to be out Saturday and I'll walk over there and see. And I don't know how much I'll be able to actually film because, again, I don't want to get people in the shot. But yeah, it's like antiques, Lisa. Yeah. I mean, if I were in the market for antiques, the little bit I saw, they have wonderful antiques over here. So, if I had my own apartment, it would be awesome to be able to buy stuff at some of these markets they have. But no, I have not been to a food market here. I'm sure there is one. I just have not seen one yet. So, what's my best meal in France been? I don't know. That's a tough one. I would say at that Chez Sebastien, that chicken that I had with the fries and the little salad on the plate, that was probably the best thing I've had because that was just amazing. The chicken, I mean, I've never had a better like chicken cutlet with this type of spices they had and stuff on it. It was really, really good. Bye, Jan. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Um, Teffy, welcome in. No, I chopped off my hair. I did it myself. So uh I do feel Briar asked me if I feel more brave having taken on this adventure. Well, yes, definitely. I feel more brave by the day because it like I said, I hit the wall bad for a couple of days. I've had some other, I had the bus incident. I've had some other things. Um, but everything I get through just makes me feel braver, about just this whole venture. Except not brave enough to do a scooter, Cranston. Thanks though. Not doing that. So but yeah, I mean, this would have been outside my comfort zone 10 years ago, 20 years ago, probably even, but definitely now. But what else was I going to do? Just rot away in that little horrible apartment that I actually couldn't stand and in a town that I wasn't real fond of was just going to sit there for another 5 years? Like, no. I remind myself that every day, like, this is still so much better than just sitting there. And so anyway, where's that at, Kujijini? The flea market? Is that the one that in the park that I'm talking about? Starts at 7:30. I'm not getting up that early for it. But yeah, 1 p.m. sounds about right because when I walked by there, it was about 1:30, and most places had packed up. So yeah. Yeah, I would like to meet some exciting people and I think I will meet, as like I said, I know when I get to the UK, I will definitely have more people to chat with and stuff. And I'm definitely going to do a meetup there when I'm there. I'm just not exactly sure when, but I will definitely do some sort of meetup. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to Germany for the week I'm there because I'm going to rent a car for that week and I'm going to have mobility. And that's going to be nice because I definitely, and I'm staying at a monastery that week, which is exciting. I'm staying at the guest quarters at the monastery. So, um, but that I'm going to get to see where I grew up. And so I'm excited about that. I'm excited about going to Sicily, possibly meeting with my second cousins over there. So, there's so much to look forward to. Now, of course, I'm hoping things still stay okay as far as monetarily and the with YouTube and other stuff. So we'll just see. But I can't let it consume me. I can't worry to the max about stuff. So I've just got to, try to get forward. So no, I'm not joining a convent. Just, are you asking Mary or are you asking? Oh, to stay at a convent. Yeah. I haven't looked into that. I need to maybe look into that. But yeah, yeah. Kim goes, Allison and Lucy will not become nuns, people. you, you guys, you guys are so funny. Um, I have the app for the transportation, but it's not good. The app doesn't. It's not. Even Jeff admitted to me that it's not a great app. But I do have the bus schedules, and I do have a map, the bus map. Of course, they weren't of no help to me in telling me there was no looping of the bus. So, so it'll be fine. I will get to the Mediterranean. That's my mission for next week. I will get there, and I will be able to tell you about it, and I will film it. So, yeah, I hope so, Diane. I don't know if they're giving me meals. I wasn't expecting that. I'm hoping I can sit in on some meditations, would be awesome. That's my big thing I'd like to do there at the monastery. But because I'm sure they meditate several times a day. Yeah, it's a Buddhist monastery. That's if I didn't say that already, it's Buddhist. So I'm sure they will meditate. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, just one thing at a time. I got 3 more weeks here. I got to maximize. I think I shared with you guys next week that I I don't really think I'm going to pay to go take side trips right now because I just have to conserve my money and I'll be conserving in Dijon too because my accommodation I already paid for that like 2 months ago. I don't have to pay anything else for housing there for a month and I'm really just going to really because see the way this works, I'll explain this more in the video on my budget, but some months are costing less and some months are costing more. My big month is June. That's my expensive month. So every month I'm not, no, Una, not doing Tinder. I never have, never will, but thanks anyway. Thanks NYCEJW. Anyway, so I'm not, this month I haven't spent a lot, except I had to get the freaking laptop, which was not great, but I've not spent a lot. This next month in Dijon from mid-April to mid-May, I won't be spending a lot. Once I go to Germany and then the UK, that's where it gets spendy for about a month and a half. So, hopefully I will have couple of good YouTube months and it will be fine. So, because then I'll probably go to Albania and I'll be able to spend less for at least a month there. So it's kind of I have to, I'll talk about this more extensively in the video on budget, but yeah, every month is not exactly the same because it's just some places, the UK is just costing me more and that's just the way it is. Um, It's worth it because I need it. It may be the only chance I ever have to go spend, some time in Scotland in particular or in the UK. And so I just have to take it while I can get it because I never know. So thank you so much, Beth. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. But yeah, the singing nun. Yeah. Oh, guys, did you? Okay, I have to share with you one last story. Okay, this is a good story. So, when I was young, I learned to play the guitar when I was about 10 years old, the first time. And of course, I went back to it again when I was 65. But anyway, I was playing the guitar and my mother gave, she had me take guitar lessons from a singing nun. And the nun was at a actual convent, and we would drive over to the convent and I would meet with the nun in their parlor, like they had a formal parlor. And the nun had her guitar and I had my guitar, and I don't remember her name. I've always called her Sister Mary, Lamb Chop or something like that, because I don't know what her name was. But anyway, she was very nice until the day, and I have some memories of sitting and singing with her, like we did folk songs. And but this is one of the reasons I didn't sing for a lot of my life, because after this one incident, I thought I couldn't sing. And this nun was a singing nun. I mean, she had a really nice voice and she played the guitar well. Anyway, so anyway, my mom came to pick me up. What my mom would do is she would drop me at the convent, and then she would go off down the street to a coffee shop, and she would sit and have coffee for an hour, and then she'd come back to get me. So she came back to get me, and she asked the nun how I was doing, like how it was going, how I was progressing with playing and singing or whatever. Anyway, I just remember uh, the nun saying something like, I don't remember her exact words now. It's like out of my head for some reason. But she said I had a really interesting voice. And then I was like, oh no, that's the kiss of death. Like that's it. Like when you say somebody has a really interesting voice, come on. So we get in the car. My mom and I get in the car. And my mom, she took the nun's, comment at face value. She thought she was saying something nice, right? So we get in the car and I said, Mom, I'm never going back there. She goes, what? And I said, I am never going back there. I said, I can't sing. And you have to understand, my mother didn't know if I could sing or not, because my mother literally was tone deaf. She could not really tell if somebody was a good singer. She couldn't sing herself. I don't know, she had some sort of problem. I don't know if it was a cognitive problem or ear problem. I don't know what it was, but she did have a problem. So anyway, I said, no, she said I had an interesting voice. That's the kiss of death, Mom. And she thought I was crazy because she goes, no, I don't think that's what she meant. And I said, I'm not going back. And I didn't. I never went back to the singing nun. And then I didn't really sing for most of my life because this one person I thought had slammed me. So in my downtime interview, oh, I know. I can't really hang them up though, even if I made them. So I could have brought my little plaques with me. They didn't weigh very much, but I just figured, where am I going to stick those? But anyway, point is, I didn't sing for most of my life, even though my last like serious boyfriend that I had for 13 years back in the 90s and into like early 2000, we'd go on road trips and I would sing in the car with him. And he always said, oh, sing me this song or something. I love to hear you sing. And I thought, well, he's only saying that because he loves me. He's not saying that because I have a good voice. Like anybody that ever said anything nice about my voice, I always just thought, oh, it's because they like me. They're my friend or they're my boyfriend. So I never thought I could sing. And then at 65, I got a guitar again. I said, "I don't care if I can sing or not. I wanna learn the guitar, relearn the guitar and do all this." And so I started singing with, like, at first a bluegrass kind of, like, jam thing, and then people started saying, "Oh, I really like your voice. Like, you have a really lovely voice." And I was like, "Geez," I went my whole freaking life, and finally, I kind of believed people. I mean, still not totally, but I know I don't have a great voice, but I do have a nice voice. And so it just anyway, I spent most of my life not singing because a sister married lamb chop is all I'm saying. So oh, my guitar interview is sitting in my storage unit in California, which I may or may not ever see again. But I didn't sell it before I left, and I just thought, well, I guess I'll store it. I put it in its case and just stored it. So NYCEJW, I'm going to Agrigento in Sicily, which is very near the two villages where my grandparents grew up and were born. So, and my cousins live in Agrigento. So, anyway, thank you, Leanne. That's very kind of you. I'm glad you didn't say it was interesting. she had an she had an interesting voice. Well, Cranston, I'm not going to sing a cappella, so I probably won't be doing that on the live stream. I think I did do a song at Christmas on the live stream, didn't I? I did on the like Christmas Eve one. I think I'd sang a couple songs. I don't think my family were in the mafia. No, I don't. I once dated a guy though that was the nephew of a major US mafia boss. So that was interesting. Anyway, no, I can't sing. I don't trust myself to sing a cappella, so I don't. No, I can sing when I play the guitar. I don't really like to. I just sing for myself at this point in my life, and just if I ever get a guitar again, I will definitely do another song on here. Well, anyway, let's wrap it up. We went almost an hour and a half, guys. Thank you for hanging in me, and also thanks my internet worked tonight. It was wonderful. So anyway, have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you back next Thursday. Like I said, look for the two next videos I have coming out on Sunday and next Wednesday. And yeah, it was great. You guys were really, and you guys made me laugh a few times. That's for sure. Uh, yeah, Susan, I did not like my apartment. I'd lived there 6.5 years, and it was just, I was so ready to be gone from there. So, no, actually, Stella, I did talk about that in the live stream. I actually realized I can get it through my great grandparents, although I think it's a longer process. I don't know if it's doable or not, but I probably could. So anyway, yeah, everybody have a wonderful week, and au revoir, a bientôt. Everybody have a wonderful week, and thanks, Teffy. It's fun. You was here, and now you're here. It's like two mods in the same thing. It's like great. Thank you guys for being my mods. And I know, and I'll see you back here next Thursday. And Lucy says bye, au revoir, and she's resting up this next week because it still was a lot for her. So, but she'll be probably peeking in on the live. She may not be in a lot of my normal videos, but she will definitely peek in on the live videos. So, anyway, so have a wonderful, wonderful week. Thank you all. So much gratitude for you guys for being here and being on my channel and watching my videos. I really appreciate it. And there'll be more to come, and we'll see you. So have a wonderful, wonderful week. Remember, be kind always, and keep moving forward. Take care. Bye.